Hey, welcome back to KachiTV. Last week, man, it was a rough week for me last week. Even this week, actually, had pains all over my body, man. I woke up, I couldn't like literally. I woke up, I couldn't get out of bed. Like I was stuck in bed. Oh my god, man! I needed help, like to get out of bed. It was really painful. My neck hurts, like oh man. But listen, man, I got through it. Did what I had to do. Went to work all through still because I still have to pay my bills, right? I went, hustled, came back, but I just couldn't. I just had to relax on Sunday and just kind of recover, But I'm better now. I feel better now. So I'm here today to do what I do every Sunday because I can, right? And listen, because I wasn't able to do it last week, I have a lot of stories today, and I even had to even go through all of them to kind of be very picky because now it was a longer list of stories that I wanted to discuss. But without further ado, I'm gonna say thank you to everyone who's liked my video, watched, participated, um commented, encouraged me to keep going, keep doing your thing. You're gonna get it. It's all good. It's all love, man. I appreciate all the love for sure. Because, hey, if I wasn't recording right now, I'll probably just be in my couch, right, just chilling, pressing my phone, watching YouTube, or doing some little stuff, But I have the luxury of time on Sundays to have this 1 hour, 2 hours, or whatever and record, and it's becoming a hobby for me. So hopefully this hobby is gonna turn into something bigger. But right now I'm just gonna keep doing it. So shout out to everyone who's supported so far, who's commented, liked, shared all that good stuff because I was recycling my older videos this past week because I just didn't want my channel to go cold, right? So I was just recycling my older content and cutting them into shots and stuff like that. So I appreciate all the love of people who tuned in still. This week we're gonna have fresh content for sure, and let's get into it for sure. All right, today I'm gonna start from Nigeria again because I'm Nigerian, right? I'm gonna start from Nigeria and then get into more international stories that we have, and then end it for today with Davido's new music, Awuke. I'm gonna give my review on that music, and I hope you guys have listened to the music as well, and let me know if I'm being honest with that review in the end. But anyway, let's get into it for today. First story I have here was a seven senator, a Nigerian seven senator. Last week on camera, this guy, with the impunity, the audacity, all the T's I can't remember right now, right? But this guy was abusing some delivery driver, someone who came to deliver his food, right? You ordered for some food. This guy brought your food to you and requested payment, and he called you to come get your food. And at least this was my own understanding of the issue, right? And the dude was like, you have to come get your food from outside. I don't want to come into your house or your estate or whatever it is, right? Just come down, get your food, and give me my money so I can go, right? Dude came down and felt like it was an insult for the young man to ask him to come down and take his food. Like, I don't understand like how it's an insult for someone to call you to come get your food. How is that an insult? Like, but in Nigeria, everything is an insult, right? You have to bend down literally and greet everybody for them to know that you're humble, which is just insane, right? I live in the US right now, and delivery people, everybody, anybody could be a delivery driver, anybody could order food with the delivery service, right? And these people work with time, they don't have time to wait around and go around and say hello, hi. They don't have time for all that stuff. If you know your food is going to be delivered at 1 p.m., you need to be ready at 1 p.m. because the people who are working with time, they need to go deliver all that food because it's not a lot of money. The pay is not so great, right? So you want to make as much deliveries in that period of time that you've allotted, right, to do that gig for that day. If it's 2 hours, if it's 3 hours, maybe you just want to make $50 in that 3 hours or 2 hours. You want to make $100. You don't have time to be running around looking for somebody, right? So for the most part, if you're not available at your door, this is in the US, if you're not available at your door waiting to grab your food, the thing most of these guys would do is drop your food right in front of your door, take a picture, send it to the app, and say, "I delivered this food," and that's it. And that's the culture here, and everybody understands that. But Nigeria is some place, right, where things work differently. That's why nothing works, right? The expectation is that things should work differently, but in reality, nothing works. It's just ridiculous. I wish I could play that video here, because if I played that video again, it's only going to trigger me, and I don't want to be triggered. And shout out to that young man who just stood there and took all that abuse and recorded. Shout out to him for sure, for just standing there, taking that abuse, no like retaliation. Just I call him a young man, but this was a man. This was an adult, right? Another man putting hands on you just because they feel like they can. He's a senator or whatever. He's a politician, so he just felt like he can. He could put hands on you and abuse you like the way he did. Mine. Watching the video the very first time and only time, honestly, I couldn't watch that video again, right? I'm just like, man, I don't know if I could be as patient as this dude, man. Standing there watching another man put hands on me, right? The last time I let shit like that happen, right, was when I was in secondary school. Like, the older guys, we were little at the time, so the older guys, bullied us and stuff, and we couldn't really do anything, and we just stood there, lay there, and let them, just whip us and all that good stuff, right? That was the last time I ever took stuff like that from another human being, right? I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't. Like, man, shout out to that dude, man. Shout out to him with his patience and the way he comported himself, the way he composed himself, man. Because honestly, man, I remember one time back in the university, I had this scuffle. I didn't have a scuffle with the guy, right? The guy, he was obviously big. Hey, that's why I go by Slim Edgar, right? I'm slim, I'm lanky. I've never been a big guy. I've always been this slim, right? So this bigger guy, in the university at the time, we had a misunderstanding, and one thing led to the other. He started raising his voice, and the next thing, he raised his hands on me, man. Put his hands on me, man. Obviously, I wasn't going to take that, right? I wasn't going to take that. And the rest is history, for sure. I'm not going to say that here because I'm not trying to promote violence or whatever, right? But the rest is history. I'm not going to stand there, let another man put their hands on me. Like, I'm a grown man. So shout out to this guy, man. I don't know his name. His name wasn't published. Maybe his name was, but I just didn't follow that story because it was very triggering to me. So I just didn't follow it that much to get all the details and his name and all that good stuff. But I know it was in Abuja, Nigeria for sure. So, man, shout out to that guy, man, because it wouldn't be me, man. It wouldn't be me, man. Man, fuck who you are, man. And this guy was really light skinned, like the person giving the abuse, right? He was really light skinned, like really light skinned. Hey, shout out to all the light skinned dudes, man. I have nothing against you guys, but I'm just saying, right? Hey, man, I'm dark skinned and you're light skinned and you're trying to show me that you're tough. If I put hands on you, you're gonna bleed like faster than I would, right? At least that's my understanding. Maybe I'm naive on this one, but I'm just saying. But if I put my hands on you, I think you're gonna at least you're gonna get like a black eye or something, like a scar. You're gonna get that. That's normal. That's normal. I'm not even making this up, right? That's normal. Man, I don't know, man. All I can say is just shout out to that dude. And I think the other day I saw it was like a $500,000 bill, 500,000 naira bill, which is literally nothing in Nigeria, right? For a politician, he was given a 500,000 naira bill. That was pretty much the only fine that this guy is receiving. And the other man, what does the other man get, right? What does the other man get, right? Man, I just think it's ridiculous, man. And I don't want to get into all of how Nigerians tolerate the abuse from the government, but it's just the way that dude stood there and took that abuse. It's just a mirror of the Nigerian people, how we tolerate all the abuse from the politicians and not do anything. We just stand there and absorb all this abuse, the corruption, the abuse of power, right? From even the police people, right? we just stand there and just absorb all this stuff, right? It's sad and sickening, and we saw that in HD. Like there were no like gimmicks. It was right there in front of us, like the guy recording like everything, man. It's really, even me talking about it now, it's even getting me, it's even triggering me now, like just thinking about the whole situation, right? Eh, man, I don't know, man. Shout out to that dude, man, because you just stood there, took all that abuse, and did nothing. Shout out to you, man, because I know it wouldn't be me, man. I know it wouldn't be me, man. I just know it wouldn't be me. I mean, I wouldn't stand there and let another man just put their hands on me. It wouldn't be me, man. But I'm not gonna keep talking about this because I know I'm already getting really triggered. So I'm just gonna keep this one moving, and we go from there for sure, for sure. And the next one is also gonna be, about a Nigerian story. We have a dude. I don't know what that dude is. If he's a transgender or if he's a cross dresser. I don't know what he is, right? But he dresses like a woman and makes up and takes pictures like a girl, like Bobrisky. That's his name, right? So I don't know what it is, what he is, or what they are. Let's say I don't know what they are, right? But we know for sure that Bobrisky, he dresses like a woman all the time. He makes up, always flaunting cash, calling himself the mommy of Lagos. Definitely an interesting character, and he's had this case. I've covered this case multiple and multiple times of how he went to jail or prison or whatever. He had to go to prison. According to the Nigerian government, he abused the naira notes, and he was spraying naira notes in some occasion, and also he was also accused of money laundering, and eventually he had to go to prison or whatever. He served 6 months in prison allegedly, because right now there's also stories or rumors. Excuse me. There's also rumors that he actually didn't go to prison, that he was in some comfortable place, not in the actual prison, and that has become another story, that's trending in Nigeria as well. And I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, he was caught at the border of Lagos and Benin Republic. Excuse me, man. I had to drink some water. I'm getting thirsty. I talk a lot, so I get thirsty, right? But listen, right? Last 2 weeks, or I don't know, maybe it was last week, he was caught at the border of Lagos and Benin Republic, and the Nigerian government obviously made a clown show about that. But Bobrisky has been caught. He was trying to escape. This, that. Granted, this guy has not been charged with anything else, right? He's gone to prison. Like, you guys sent him to prison. He's gone there. You guys have come out and said, "Oh, he didn't go to prison. He wasn't in actual prison." But there, at least to the best of my knowledge, right? There's not been any new charge against him. Like, okay, these are the new charges against this dude. That this is what he did, right? This is what he did. These are the new charges against him, right? At least to the best of my knowledge, right? And now he was trying to board a flight the other day, maybe some 2-3 days ago. He was trying to board a flight to London, and he was humiliated. Like, the Nigerian government just humiliated this dude, right? Fundamental rights in the gutters, right? Humiliated him, in my opinion, for no reason. Because you don't have any charge against this dude. You don't have any no flights ban on him, and he's trying to fly out of the country for whatever reasons, which is nobody's business, right? That's his business, right? Trying to fly out of the country, and then he was humiliated, bruised, abused by the same government. I don't know. Maybe I don't have all the details, right? But maybe someone can tell me in the comment section and let me know what it is actually that Bobrisky has done, to deserve all these abuse, all this torture, all of this, disgrace, right? Embarrassment, right? Maybe someone can tell me in the comment section. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just talking, right? Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, right? Maybe someone can tell me and maybe educate me and let me understand what the actual crime that Bobrisky committed to deserve all this humiliation, dehumanization. Again, all these chants that I can't remember. It's not even funny. It's a very sad situation of how the Nigerian government just keeps abusing the rights of its citizens. Recently there's also been a case going on where kids, literally kids, right? Minors. These are minors, 13-year-old, 14-year-olds. There are laws for them, obviously, but you put them in a prison that's meant for adults and you're charging them with adult crimes, right? And some lawyer in Nigeria came out and said, oh, these are adults, that they are married, they are this. These are kids. Everybody can see these are kids, right? Or those are kids, right? Everybody could see that. Like if you see a kid, you're going to know this is a kid, right? But the Nigerian government always shows out and shows itself when it comes to the powerless. Like they are literally powerless. They want to show out and show off, right? It's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. We have a case of a politician, in Nigeria who's allegedly stole billions and billions and billions of naira, right? Of naira. Billions. The EFCC has started a case against him, but for some reason, they can't even arrest him. I can keep going. For some reason, they can't arrest him, right? For some reason, he's untouchable. We all know where this man lives. He's in the current governor's lodge of the current governor, right? That's where this man is. We all know, everybody knows. The citizens know, the EFCC knows, the police knows, everybody knows. But for some reason, they can't get this man. Can you believe that in Nigeria, right? But Bobrisky trying to take a flight to the UK or London or wherever he was trying to travel to, right? Humiliated, right? Humiliated. Recently, a kid, I wouldn't call him a kid, but some dude, right? A young man was charged with scamming. I don't know who he scammed, but he scammed someone of $22. $22. I'm not here to make light of the situation, right? Scamming is not good in any form, shape, or whatever, right? In any way. Scamming is not a good thing, right? But we're talking about $22 here. $22, right? This guy was sent to prison or charged with, I don't know what the term is, right? Sentence, that's the word. This guy was sentenced to 14 years in prison for $22. For $22, right? But a senator can abuse a citizen and nothing happens. But Bobrisky can, just because he chooses to be who he wants to be. And, a lot of people make him a target. And then it becomes a clown show in Nigeria. I think it's really sad, but hey, maybe I'm not very enlightened on these issues, right? So maybe someone can tell me what the real issues is or what the real issues are, and maybe I would understand, and hopefully I would understand. I'll keep an open mind. So let me know in the comment section, please. Let me know in the comment section. Maybe I'm just being biased some way, one way or the other. So maybe someone can make this make sense to me. But anyway, with that, I'm going to move to the next story. And this one right here is happening in the USA. Well, Lil Durk has been arrested on complaints alleging murder for hire. This has made the rounds on social media for the past for the past week now, because I think he was arrested sometime last week. There's a background story to this, right? There's some dude or some rapper. It's all happening in Chicago, right? Shout out to Chicago, man. My ex is from there, so shout out to Chicago. But hey, it's all happening in Chicago. Some rapper, I don't listen to this type of music, but for some reason, shout out to Vlad too, because I listen to Vlad TV a lot. So that's how I just, whether I like it or not, it's just in my face on Vlad's channel. So I know about these things, even though I don't like their music. I don't even listen to their music, but I just know about them. So shout out to Vlad for keeping me informed about all this stuff, right? But hey, man, it all started in Chicago when a rapper named King Von was killed sometime in 2020, maybe. And his people who are, or his friends, let me say his friends who are, the likes of Lil Durk, who are very close to him, allegedly, everything here is allegedly. We're going to say allegedly, right? There were talks of his friends wanting to retaliate his death, right? And then some dude named Quando Rondo allegedly also was a suspect, a very huge suspect of allegedly being the one involved in the death of what's his name, King Von. Stay with me now. I don't have all the details, but this is just an overview, right? Just stay with me, okay? I'm gonna get it together, so just stay with me, please, right? So now, Quando Rondo allegedly being a suspect in the death of King Von, there was an attempt on his life. Sometime, I don't know, it's been years, I guess, maybe in 2020 still. There was an attempt on his life, which he escaped. But unfortunately, his cousin was shot and killed in that incident. So now, in 2024, Lil Durk has been arrested on complaint alleging murder for hire. The murder for hire here would be the cousin of Quando Rondo, who was shot and killed in that, retaliation attempt or whatever it was, right? Now Lil Durk is facing pretty much life, and I'm not making this shit up. These are all public documents, public information, right? I'm not making shit up here. I'm gonna try to share my screen and bring from the Justice Department of the USA. I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna share this screen here real quick. Right here, we have it here, right? And again, I'm not making this up. This is from the United States Attorney's Office, Central District of California. Chicago rapper Lil Durk arrested on complaint alleging he ordered murder attempt that resulted in fatal shooting near Beverly Center. It's a long one for sure. I'm not gonna bore anybody with all this stuff, right? But these are all the names. DeAndre, Dontrell, Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, Asa Houston, Boogie, Brown Eyes, Flacca, Didi. These are all the people involved in this thing. And then the gang name is all, whatever it is called OTF, Only the Family. I've seen, Doug Banks, aka Lil Durk, was arrested near Miami International Airport late Thursday on a complaint charging him with conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in death. Pretty much what this means is he used the airport, right? The airport is federally owned, so maybe not federally owned, but somehow they own that shit, right? It's theirs somehow. So if you use that to to commit a crime, or if you do commit any crime in the airport, that's a federal crime. It's a federal crime. It's no jokes, right? It's just what it is. So, these are serious issues here, and it's just really sad that anyone would have to go through this, for sure. People losing their lives for no reason, in my opinion. It's just senseless. All the killings by these young men, killings here and there, it's senseless, in my opinion. And I don't know, for the most part, you don't see a lot of people, or I would say people who've been through this life, come out like aggressively and speak up against stuff like this, and just speak up against this gang culture. Rap music was better when Drake, I know 50 Cent, he had some violence in his music too, but I still enjoyed his music, rap music, but it's just evolved to even so much violence. Rap music was better when, Eminem's, I guess, right? LL Cool J's, right? What's his name? Ice Cubes, Dr. Dre, rap music was more enjoyable. Even Tupac, right? Even Tupac, singing about or rapping about social justice and stuff like that, right? Rap music was just more enjoyable. But now the drill rap music has just turned everything to more violence. More violence. And the few people who speak about it, people just hate on them. Even though this person, I'm gonna say, Charleston White, right? Even though he says some really crazy and outlandish stuff for the most part, right? But you can tell this man wants something good for the community, for his community, for the black community. When he speaks about or speaks against the violence in the rap culture and the rap music and the drill, you can tell that he just wants what's best for his community, right? And there should be nothing wrong with that. There should be nothing. You think there should be nothing wrong with that until you go into the comment sections and you see what other people are saying. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, when would enough death be enough? Right? When will it be enough that, a lot of people have died, let's just stop this nonsense? It's just meaningless. 50 Cent recently said, there was no point for him to join the gang because he looked at the gang history. He looked at the gang history, and there was really no successful person that has been a gang member or gang banger or whatever it is, right? He's really seen no successful person be a gang banger. So why would he? And he's not saying this as a grown, he's obviously saying this as a grown adult, but this was his mindset as a young man. And that was the reason why he didn't join the gang. You see what I'm saying, right? This was his mindset as a young man. So why is it now a thing of pride that, why is it now a thing of pride that young people want to just be gangbangers and do crazy stuff, run around killing yourselves, counting scores? It would never make sense to me, honestly. It would never make sense to me. I mean, even if you don't love yourself, right? You have a mother, man. You have a mother. Even if you hate yourself so bad, right? Your mom is going to cry because your mom loves you. She loves you a lot. Too much, maybe. A little bit too much. So if anything happens to you, if you're hurt, she's going to cry real bad. So let's say you don't love yourself, right? Think about your mom. Think about your mom. How about that, right? All this craziness, violence, sending to prison for life for 30 years, people just, lives just wasted. And it's not like the prison is not even fun to be in. The food is trash. I mean, I've never been there. I don't plan on being there, but people who've been there always say the same thing. The food is trash. You're not even safe. There's crazy people in there that just want to hurt you, right? There's crazy people in there. Why would that be something like any reasonable, rational person would aspire to want to be in? Why would that be a situation that any rational person would want to be in, especially in 2024, when there is a slim chance, there's a very slim chance, there's a very, literally very slim chance that you can get away with crime. Literally. Especially in America. There's a very slim to none, maybe. Slim to none that you can get away with crime. So why would you want to risk it? I don't know, man. I don't know. I sound old talking this shit, right? But maybe all old men should start talking about shit like this too, right? And maybe the younger ones would listen. Maybe the younger one would listen, because growing up, I ain't have anyone talking to me like this as well. Like, just passionately telling you, like, honestly, you know, maybe more old men should come out and, you know, talk about all this stuff too, man. Shout out to 50 Cent, man, because he keeps talking about things like this and keeps giving free game. Shout out to 50 Cent for sure. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on this topic. I'm going to move to the next one here. But before that, I'm going to drink my quench my thirst, because I'm talking too much, right? All right. Tom Brady. Tom Brady. I don't know all his accolades, right? Tom Brady. Let me see all his accolades on Google. All right. Google has this AI feature now where, you know, you just type a keyword and then the AI gives you some rundown. So that's what I'm going to use, right? Tom Brady has 2002, 2004, 2005, 2015, 2017, 2019, and 2021 Super Bowl wins. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Super Bowl wins. Super Bowl MVPs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Brady has won the NFL MVP award 3 times in 2007, 2010, and 2017. He is the NFL MVP. Pro Bowl selections. Brady has been selected to the Pro Bowl 15 times, a record. NFL records. Brady holds many NFL records, including most career passing yards, completions, touchdown passes, and games started. Postseason record. Brady holds many postseason records, including most Super Bowl appearances, wins, games started, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and game-winning drives. Brady is a member of the NFL 2000s All-Decade Team, the NFL 2010s All-Decade Team, the Patriots 2000s All-Decade Team, and Patriots 2010s All-Decade Team. Brady retired after the 2022 season and is now a TV analyst for Fox. Definitely a future Hall of Famer. Like, there's no doubt about that, right? Definitely. But that's not the issue today. The issue today that I have, anyway, it's not an issue anyway, it's just a story. You know, his ex-wife, pregnant after a year of separation with Brady. And she's pregnant to or with, I don't know what that word would be, but, you know, for. She's pregnant for her trainer. You know, these trainers, they all act like they don't know what's going on, right? They just keep acting like, oh, they're just here to train. Showing their muscles and all that good stuff, right? But they all have bad intentions. The gym trainers, right? They all have bad intentions. You know, most guys know this stuff. You know, we just look at them and, you know, we talk about it, but they act like they don't know what's going on. They act like they have good intentions. No, they have bad intentions. For the women, obviously. Towards the women, obviously. I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't say she did anything wrong in this situation, right? Because, hey, they were separated. And I think she's free to do whatever she wants to do. So there's no wrongdoing here, you know. She didn't do anything wrong here. They were separated, and if people are separated, for the most part, they don't want to be with each other anymore. But, you know, the only thing here now is it's just the time frame which the the pregnancy happened. I mean, I think it's within a year of separation, and already she gave birth. So people are always going to speculate and be like, oh, were they doing the do while they were still married? Technically, all the technicalities. But hey, it's just a technicality. That's just what it is. It's just a technicality. Filing for separation is just a technical thing that you do. You go to court, you go to the courthouse and file for that separation. But before that separation becomes official, things obviously have already started getting sour. So, it's what it is. I wouldn't say she did anything wrong here. Hey, you can feel bad for Tom Brady all you want, but it's just what it is. And I think he put up a very interesting post the other day. Let me see if I can find that post on his Instagram.
Child within my heart, rise above. Can I sail through the endless sky? What is love? Can the child within my heart?
I hear it is, man. Giselle. I'm not gonna try to say his name. I don't want to mess it up. Boyfriend Joaquim Valente are reportedly expecting their first child together 2 years after a divorce from Tom Brady. I mean, it's what it is, right? I can't even be a hater on this one. I can't sit here and be a hater and try to be like, oh, she did this. It's just what it is, right? If a man did the same thing, I wouldn't be a hater either. So because she's a woman, I'm not gonna sit here and try to be a hater either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just what it is. That it didn't work out, so she's moved on with her life, and it's what it is. But the only thing, though, I hope you had a prenup. Like Kanye said, we want prenup. We want prenup. So, hey, man, I hope you had a prenup. That's the only thing I'm going to hit on, Hey, man, listen. Stop playing. You know what it is, though. Tom Brady is so rich, man. You know what it is, man. Hey, I hope you had a prenup, man. That's all I'm going to say. And to all the guys out there, we want prenup. And with that, I'm going to move to the next story for sure. All right. So this is a new law from the U.S. government. I hope I can find it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna skip this one. New federal law. Let me try to find it. Federal law, crime to go through partner's phone. Hopefully, I can find this one. All right. Again, the Google overview just gave me some answers, so I'm going to share that one instead of trying to look for the actual law. So for the actual statute, So I'm just gonna add this to stage, and here we are. All right. I hope this is big enough for us to see. And again, this is the AI overview, so I mean, I trust it for the most part. It wouldn't get, and it gives links too. So so I said federal law, crime to go through partner's phone. This was just my keyword, right? My keywords, right? And the AI overview here says, yes, it's a federal crime to go through someone's phone without their permission. I don't know if it's a new law. It probably has been a law that's been around, So I don't know if this is a new law. Let me click this link and see what happens. Why is it not letting me? This federal law makes it illegal to access someone else's private communications without their permission. This includes cell phones, emails, social media accounts, and other electronic. Why is this not opening? I'm really trying to curse here, but I'm holding it back. Stop. Why is this not opening? Come on now. These are supposed to be links. All right. Going through someone's phone without their consent is generally considered an invasion of privacy. This is true even if you are married, separated, or divorced. This shit is playing with me. In some cases, you and your partner may have an agreement to look through each other's phone. This could be to rebuild trust, but it is usually temporary. Why is this not? Why are the links not opening? For some reason the links are not opening, so I don't know what's going on here. But I know I know it's a thing though. I know it's a thing, so it's not just Google giving me random answers. It's actually a thing, you know. This for sure is an interesting one because most women are gonna be like, oh, they're targeting us. But hey, man, it's not only men are not the only people who cheat, right? Men are not the only people who cheat. Women cheat too, you know, and for the most part, men don't even care going into their spouse's phones, right? They just stick to theirs. For the most part, it's the women who always want to go into the men's phones. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but hey, let someone let me know if I'm wrong. But I just think I just think that's the case for the most part. You know, the women in a relationship, they just want to go into their partner's phones and go look at it. You know, hey, if you and your partner agree to stuff like that, that's cool. But I don't know. I personally, I don't like people going into my phone. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, the women, they always want to be sneaky and go into your phone. It's a crime now. So stop playing. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail. It's a crime. It's not a joke anymore. It's a crime. If you want to go to jail, keep going to your partner's phone and you see what happens, right? I'm just saying. But hey, man, hey, maybe someone can let me know in the comment section. But I think for the most part, it's the women who always want to go into the men's phones. So I think with this, they're gonna again, it's them who are gonna be like, oh, they're targeting us. No, no one is targeting you. They're just saying, leave people's phones alone. That's all the law is saying. Leave people's phones alone. You know, you don't need that information that's gonna make you hurt anyway. It's gonna make you cry anyway. It's gonna cause issues anyway. You don't need that. You don't need that information. Just stay out of people's phones. Stay in yours and stay out of people's phones. And nobody even goes to check in yours to see if you're doing anything fishy or funny too, right? So why bother about my phone, right? Why bother? Hey man, shout out to whoever proposed this law and or the bill and made it become a law. Shout out to whoever that person is. Shout out to who that person is, man. They're looking out for us for sure. When I say us, I mean all of us, like men, women, everybody. They're looking out for everybody, you know. Hey, man, but with that one, I'm going to the next story. All right. Let me drink some water. I don't know what's going on here. All right, here's another interesting one. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. I love 50 Cent, no Diddy. Hey man, listen, man. But hey, I love that dude, man. His business acumen is just beyond natural. If that's a thing, you know. But hey man, the guy his business sense is just ridiculous. Just really ridiculous. He didn't have to go to business school to learn these things, you know. So it's just a natural thing. And for the most part, it's you know, it's mostly common sense ideas, common sense things that he does, and you know, you can just see it materialize and happen, obviously, right? Recently, he's buying out the whole, you know, a huge portion of the downtown in Shreveport, Louisiana, right? Turning that into a studio, into a film studio, the second largest black-owned studio in America. That's just insane. The second after Tyler Perry. That's just from nowhere, out of nowhere, right? Vincent is the second largest film studio owner in America, right? Man, shout out to 50 Cent, man. I listen to him a lot because there's just so much that you can learn from the dude. There's just so much. You know, he wrote the book with Robert Greene. I think that's the guy's name. The guy who wrote the 48 Laws of Power. You know, he wrote a book with the dude, right? It just goes to show you, you know, how 50 Cent has advanced as a person, you know. Even getting older, he's just becoming smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. You know, but that's not the story for today. The story for today is him saying Omari Hardwick overvalues himself. And Omari Hardwick, for those who wouldn't know, you know, is Ghost in Power. You know, Power, the TV show that 50 Cent executive produced or owns. I think he owns that show. So Omari Hardwick is Ghost, who died in 3-4 years ago in the show, right? And it's been a lot of back and forth. I'm gonna play the video before I even continue talking about this. Let me go back here and try to get. I get all my stuff from Instagram, right? So let's go to Instagram. All right, here it is.
Why are we not excited about the new project?
When we go,
What new project?
All right, let's do this. Let's try this again, just so it starts from the beginning.
But when he says this stuff on, I think he overvalues himself. To be honest with you, because since then it's been a long time since he hasn't been in power. Why are we not excited about the new projects?
What new project?
His new projects.
You got new. I didn't know.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. If there was noise going on, if he was that big of a draw, then we would see noise. We see new things happening. We see you out where you actively in a place where people are looking for you.
So y'all not cool, it sounds like.
No, because you leave it like it's me not giving you the money. But when
we go to
shout out to 50 and let me see. Let me try to say this name. Naturi Nothing. I hope I said your name correctly. I'm sorry. I know you can't say mine either, but it's okay, right? It's okay. We can live with that. But hey, she's the wife of Ghost in the show, right? And she had this to say about 50 Cent's comment on the Breakfast Show or the Breakfast Club. So shout out to the Breakfast Club as well. Omari Hardwick started this amazing journey, and I don't know all of what happened with 50 and O, but I'll say this: I love Omari Hardwick. He's an amazingly talented human. He's also a good person, but there would be no power without Ghost. So I hope they can find love and peace between each other. All right, and I think 50 Cent had something to say about that.
When we go to renegotiate,
I'm going to find that real quick. 50 Cent definitely had something to say about that. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. No, it's not there. I keep saying here it is, but it's not there. Okay, here it is. 50 Cent had something to say. He said, I was minding my business, then here we go again. Shaking my head. I don't have a problem with a problem. Do we have a problem? He's not asking a question. He's making a statement. Do we have a problem? Hey, man, shout out to 50 Cent, man. Nobody wants to have a problem with 50 Cent because he's a problem. He's a problem. We all know that, right? That he's a problem. He doesn't shy away from problems. But my thing is this, right? With this situation, Naturi, I don't know how you say your name, but Naturi. She started off by saying she doesn't know all the details, and then she ended by saying there will be no power. And she went further to say there will be no power without Ghost. And then she ended by saying, I hope both of them find peace with each other, right? Which is a great way to start and a great way to end. But the middle, where you say there will be no power without Ghost. I don't know, man. I just think that that statement in itself is, you picking a side, because you already started saying, oh, you don't know all the details. Since you don't know all the details, why pick a side then? Now you're picking a side, and hey, there's nothing wrong with picking a side, but when you pick a side, you have to stay there, right? Especially with someone like 50 Cent, right? When you pick a side, you have to stay on that side. It's just what it is. That's just there's the rules, right? If you pick a side, you stay there. It's just what it is, You can say anything about what 50 Cent said, right? That he overvalues himself. I would say maybe he was just a little bit too harsh, but the truth is the truth. The facts are the facts, He's had other projects. Literally nobody knows about these other projects. I don't know if he still acts like if he's still in movies, because I don't follow him on social media and stuff like that. And if his movies were popping, right, we would all see them, because he was such a great talent on the Power Show, right? He was such a great talent. So if he's such a big deal, like 50 Cent said, then we would all see it. It wouldn't be hidden. The talent is there though, but you have to be humble. You have to be humble. How about that? How about that though? You know, these were opportunities. I've seen where there's a movie called Friday, I think, or Friday, I think. It was a movie by I think it was Master P, maybe, and Ice Cube, or Ice Cube alone, maybe. I think it was a movie by Ice Cube. I could be wrong here. Someone tell me, please. But it's Friday, the movie. You know, but it was either by Master P or by Ice Cube. And there were a lot of up and coming actors, talents at the time. This is a very old movie, right? Some of these guys were paid for the whole movie, for whatever it is they did on that movie. They are paid less than $1,000, some less than $2,000. Just, you know, not a lot of money. You know why? Because that was a low budget movie. So whatever the budget was for that movie, that's what you got paid. But good enough, good and fine, the movie blew up and became a very huge success, right? And now we've seen in recent times, some of the actors who were on that movie now are like, oh, I was only paid $900. Oh, I was only paid $200. I was only paid $500. You know, just talking shit, in my opinion. Just talking crazy shit, right? Talking crazy shit, right? But in the time, or in the moment when when that role was offered to you, right, you had nothing to say. You didn't renegotiate. You didn't have any pushbacks, right? You opted in, acted your thing, did your thing, and left, right? If that movie was not a big, if it didn't blow up, right? If it wasn't a success, right? Would you even want to be associated with that movie? You know, you wouldn't. But at the time, you weren't even a big deal at the time. And also, similar thing with Omari Hardwick. At the time, nobody knew him. He just became a huge deal on Power. It's not like he had tons and tons of shows or movie roles before that time. Maybe he did, but I didn't know either. And I think most people didn't know either. Maybe he did. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about the dude, right? But it was because of the Power Show that I knew about him, and most people knew about him. And 50 Cent said it correctly. If you're such a big deal, why aren't we talking about your other projects? It's not hate, it's just facts, right? It's not hate, it's just facts. And obviously it can sound offensive, you know, especially when it's the truth. The truth is not supposed to be sweet. It's not supposed to come sweet, you know? You know, it can sound offensive, that's for sure. But it's the truth though. It's the truth. But hey, we all know 50 Cent to be a marketing genius. We all know that to be him, right? So this could also be a strategy. I know most people would be holding their breath and be like, oh, maybe 50 Cent is trying to bring this dude back on Power, and he's just making all this noise to make it a big deal when it eventually happens. 50 Cent will do shit like that too. That's how crazy that dude is, right? He'll do shit like that too. So hey, if that's the case, always big shout out to 50 Cent, because he's just killing it for sure. He's just a marketing genius. But as far as what he said, there are no lies told. As far as what he said, there are no lies told. But hey, with that one, I'm just gonna move to the next story here. It's not actually a story though. It's a review of the Awuke, Davido Awuke, the new music by Davido. And this would be sort of let me drink some water. I'm gonna first say this. I listened to the song maybe 2-3 times. Typically, if I want to review a song or an album, I would at least listen to the music the whole day so I can have great in-depth, you know, understanding of the music. But I listened to this music at least 3 times. And to me, it just wasn't worth listening anymore. First off, I'm going to start by saying Davido is a big deal. I love his music. When he did the fall music, Money Fall on Me, Banana Fall on Me, banger at the time, right? This was maybe 2016, 2015, maybe. He's gone on to do great music. Even his last project, which was Timeless. I also have my issues with that album because in that period he lost his son. My expectation anyway would have been he would channel that grief and make more conscious music. But the only time he talked about his son on that whole project, I could be wrong here again, but hey, someone can tell me in the comment section if I'm wrong, right? The only time he talked about, it was just a line. It was just one line. And I can't remember the name of the music, the name of that track right now, but it was on that same track. He talked about his uncle winning the elections, right? It was just a line on the whole project, honoring your son, man. I don't know. People would say, when you lose there's no perfect way to grieve, right? But losing a son or a child, especially a little child, I would think I've not lost any before. As a matter of fact, I've not even lost anybody that I really love, right? I still have everybody I love is still around. So I can't even relate, right? But I can only imagine that losing a child, especially a little child, and if I'm not mistaken, that was the first child from his wife, Choma. I would think that would be so sorrowful, that you would want to grieve. And being an artist, you would want to transfer that grief into your music. Your music becomes even more conscious, right? Very more conscious, right? But I don't know. I just didn't feel it in that album. The album was still another feel-good album, where you want people to dance from the beginning to the end, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But the question for me would be why? Why? Because you don't even need the, the accolades are great, right? But the thing is, being an artist, and especially being Davido, having the humongous fan base that you have, for the most part, right? Whatever you give to your fans, as long as it's well thought out, right? Your fans are gonna consume it. That's a fact. So why go this route of making continuous feel-good music, singing about women, singing about girls, singing about some woman? Why go that route when you could go this other route where you could be more conscious in your music? You've done it all, man. You've done it all. Like you've not won a Grammy, but you've done it all as far as numbers, as far as money, as far as accolades. You've done it all. So why keep doing this? Why keep doing it? The greatest artists, right, of all times, I would say black artists, right? Be it the Bob Marleys, be it the Michael Jacksons, be it the Tupacs, be it the Fellas. They had those feel-good musics too, or tracks. They had those too. But inside those projects, they also had the conscious ones, where people could sit down and reflect and think about, the social justice, things happening around them, especially for the struggle of the black people, emancipation, and all that good stuff, right? Personally, I would like to see it in more of the top artists in Nigeria. I would like to see it in their music more. More. I'd like to see it more in their music. And that's just me. That's just how I feel about the Nigerian music sphere. Because these artists, they have a very huge voice, a very huge platform. That if they use that voice, instead of using that voice to talk about women all the time, right? Which they don't even need. Davido is married, right? He doesn't need these women anymore, right? At least that's the understanding of getting married, right? You're married, you don't need these women anymore because you have a beautiful wife at home now and a kid and a family. So why? That's my thing, man. Why? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this? You don't need it anymore. Why? Anyway, man, people are gonna do what they think is the best, but it would also be great. It would also transform your music. It would transform you as a person. It would transform you as an artist to just switch from doing this very I think that's your I would say that's where you're comfortable, right? Leaving that comfort zone, getting out of there and making a whole different sound and putting it out there and see what your fans would feel, how your fans would feel about it. I'll give you an example. Eminem keeps dropping music. Maybe not every year, but he just dropped a new album this year. Eminem has multiple, like, tons and tons of albums, right? He dropped another album this year. He's not doing it because he wants anybody to give him any accolade. He's doing it just because. And he's talking about the things that are relevant today to him, telling stories, of how he felt in the past and how he feels now. In the new album, he had the alter ego that was, kind of accusing him of trying to switch up and all that good. That's an artist evolving, giving a whole different type of sound. And he really doesn't care how the fans feel about it. He's just giving those music, right? Same thing with Olamide. Olamide, as we know him, right? He used to be a street rapper, rap street music and all that. But he really doesn't care about stuff like that anymore. Right now, he's just doing music that he loves, pretty much. He dropped an album sometime this year, I think, to Ikigai or Ikagai, something like that, some Japanese name, right? And that's just it. Like, he really doesn't need, he's not trying to make a ton of profit out of his music anymore. He's now dropping music that he feels he wants to drop. Not caring about what the fans really care about, because hey, he's Olamide, right? Same thing with you, man, Davido. I mean, you're Davido. You've done it all. You've done it all, right? The numbers and I'm gonna say the numbers that the music is doing, Awuke is doing great numbers, by the way. But would that be what you would keep stressing about, like being an artist? Is that what your most priority would always be? Doing these numbers, I want to be bigger than Whiskey's number. Whiskey's numbers was smaller. I had the biggest numbers first day release on Spotify, on Apple Music. That shouldn't be the priority at this point in your career, man. You've done it all. Like, literally, you've done it all. There's a Shake there. Like, let these younger guys do their thing. Let them shine. Do you? Hey, man, I'm not an artist, so what do I know, right? But these are just my thoughts on the way the likes of Davido, the Wizkid. Wizkid has an album coming up very soon to Mariah that's supposed to be an honor to his mom. I'm waiting for that music. I wanna see how he honors his mom on that music. It would be interesting too. But anyway, that's my review of the Davido's Awuke's music. And with that, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. And thanks to all the people who's tuned in. Thanks to people who are gonna tune in later when I drop the edits. Leave your comments. Let me know what I said wrong that you don't like. I would like to know and do better, right? And be a better person, I guess, right? But hey, shout out to everyone who's tuned in so far. And till next time, it's Kachi on KachiTV. Peace. My finger's right here. Peace. All right.